Small level, basically in a drop of water. There's a single cell creature. And the gameplay actually gets kind of more elaborate as you go along. So this is our little creature here. This is like he swims around. And basically he's just eating little food pellets right now. Right now there's very little challenge to the game. I'm basically looking for food pellets to eat. But as I eat the food pellets, my little creature is growing over time. And what will happen in the cell game on land is this little kind of slimy slug thing. Now this world, I can do things like go stealthy. I have certain properties on my creature here. If I can look around, I might find something I can eat. Well, these are my guys, so I'll eat them. Now in the game, basically, at this point we are playing a very simple kind of game of evolution. And we have to eat, survive, reproduce. Now those guys are probably too big for me. There's some small things over here. Now if I get stealthy, I might be able to sneak up on this little baby. I think it's a baby of these large things. There we go. I was going back to the parent. Oh, okay. Covers a lot of interesting territory, a lot of interesting philosophical questions. So a lot of the gameplay kind of up at these levels is based upon kind of my favorite science fiction movies. So here's a species on the planet. This is some kind of wild creature. One of the things I can kind of do at this level is I can take out my monolith tool. Here. Oh, the ocean. They were aquatic. Well, I'm going to try that again. I have to cheat because I only get one monolith in this game. Monolith is something that you come across much later in the game. And so basically I'm looking at kind of my favorite science fiction movies and figuring out what the landmarks, the kind of narrative landmarks in there are. Oh, actually they did find the monolith. Okay. Well, what they do is they come worship around the monolith and then they basically instantly upgrade their grade level. And so now they've actually built a tribal society here, so this is their hut. And at some point I can come down, I can actually leave my UFO and get them to try to worship me as a god. I have to be very careful not to upset them, but once I let them get used to me, it's just kind of like taming a wild horse. So, once again, this is the creature that I made when I was playing through the game. These are creatures that some other players made. They might have certain properties. It doesn't look like he wants to worship me right now. Oh, there's some little tricks I can do. I can actually scan them. A little miracle magic here. I can also scan this guy with my scanning tool. And what basically happens is he gets entered in my encyclopedia. We have this idea of a Sporepedia, which is this encyclopedia of everything you come across in the game up to this point. And in some sense, this is your way to visualize the food web on a planet. So as you click on these things, these are not scanned. This is the guy I just scanned. I can actually get a running database of every creature, every vehicle, every building, every city, every planet, every star that I visited in the game. This is built up automatically, and we wanted to actually build a credible training garden game to kind of play with this. So you can kind of actually bring this outside the game. So in addition to things like 2001, we also taken all these other landmarks, things like War of the Worlds, Day the Earth Stood Still, Star Trek, X-Files. Each one of these becomes kind of an aspect of the metagame up at this level. Now, as we advance our technology, at some point we can actually pull away from our home star out into the interstellar space around our star. So this is a region of interstellar space around our home star, several hundred other stars here. We not only have stars, but we have a lot of Hubble objects that you might see. In fact, the Hubble images you were saying earlier, one of the things about those that always interested me was that when you look at those images, you have no idea of the scale or frequency of these things. You have no idea whether you're looking at a planetary nebula or a galaxy. And there's a tremendous difference in size between the two. This is like a protoplanetary disk, so this is a region where new planets are forming around the star. Over time this will coalesce and form planetary systems. But I wanted to have, basically a very simple environment where the player can kind of go around almost as a tourist, kind of visiting this little zoo of cool objects, and get some sense of, how these things behave and where they're distributed, how large they are relative to each other, and to give people a context for things that they're seeing, for instance, like in the Hubble. So here we're going to a planetary nebula, which is really just exploded star, but they're these lovely things. These are kind of like the birds of the universe. You know, each one is different. There's these magnificently colored things that are basically remnants of supernovas. But of course, we can also go to stars. This is looks like a binary system over here. And every star system will have planets you can interact with, and many of these will be inhabited by other players' species. And many of them will be spacefaring, will have things like missions and all that. But basically, you know, over time, you're able to explore larger and larger areas. If we pull back from this, we're seeing several thousand stars. They're, you know, many are procedurally generated, many are player kind of built. But really, this is a very small fraction of the entire galaxy that we're dealing with here. We're actually dealing with several million worlds that are all unique because they're built on the players kind of as they play the game in parallel. So basically that is Spore. I'm going to show you just a little more PowerPoint, and we'll finish up here. Not too late. Okay. So you can take any form of human technology and kind of understand it as an extension of the human body. You know, so in some sense, you know, cars are an extension of our legs. You know, things like telescopes, television, they extend our eyesight. Telephones extend our voice. A house, really, and clothing extends our skin around our body. Now, computers really do a lot of these things, but really